Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the Unnamed Podcast. And of course, I am your host Akash, aka Evil Monkey. द अननेम्ड पॉडकास्ट में मैं बात करता हूँ कुछ ऐसी अमेजिंग पर्सनालिटीज के साथ जो अपने काम से अपनी लाइफ में तो चेंजेस ला ही रहे हैं, साथ ही साथ सोसाइटी में भी अमेजिंग चेंजेस ला रहे हैं. एंड इन केस यू आर दैट समवन और यू नो समबडी जो अपने काम से सोसाइटी में और अपनी लाइफ में अमेजिंग चेंजेस ला रहे हैं, देन फील फ्री टू ड्रॉप मी एन ईमेल ऑन evilmonkeyden@gmail.com या फिर आप फेसबुक पर जाकर हमारे फेसबुक पेज द अननेम्ड पॉडकास्ट बाय इविल मंकी को लाइक कर सकते हैं और वहां पर भी यू कैन ड्रॉप मी अ मैसेज. एंड ऑफ कोर्स अगर बात करें आज के गेस्ट की, सो हर नेम इज लाना. शी इज फ्रॉम यूएस एंड शी इज अ मोटरसाइकिल फोटोग्राफर एंड टू बी प्रिसाइज शी फोटोग्राफ्स फीमेल राइडर्स all along the US and apparently उन्होंने 100 से ज़्यादा फीमेल राइडर्स को US में अभी तक क्लिक कर रखा है. and not only US, she has traveled across the globe and I met her when she came to India and actually I helped her with arranging a little bit of shoots and then we became good friends. She moved back to US and we have been in touch and मैंने उनसे पूछा कि would she like to be on the podcast and share her journey. She was pretty much stoked about it. तो चलिए लाना से बात करते हैं and let's figure out that how did her passion in photography and motorcycle started and what was her experience when she first came to India to ride in the Himalayas. Hello Lana, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I've been good. I've been doing excellent. And how are things there in Oregon, man? How is the pandemic thing?
Oregon's crazy. It's very strict. Feels like a communist country. Everybody's wearing masks and it's crazy. Yeah.
And how you been coping with this situation, yeah?
It's been a lot of changes, just with everything, and I got laid off in March from like a dream job and just trying to really look at my finances. My boyfriend and I are moving to Boise, Idaho, because Portland's really expensive.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, that's just crazy right now.
Yeah, and I think it's been an year that you've been to India.
What's that?
I'm saying it's been more than a year that you've been to India.
Yeah, I think it would be a year in like October or September.
I think so. That was in September that you came to India for that Himalayan ride,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, crazy.
Absolutely. So, you and me came in contact because you run a very interesting website which is called Women Moto Exhibit, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And when you came to India, you were looking for some women riders in India whom you wanted to photograph, and you put it on Instagram. I said I will help you out, and that's how we met. But the idea I want to know is, how did you come up with this idea of the whole Insta, Facebook, website, the whole concept for Women Moto Exhibit? How did that idea came?
That idea came essentially when I started riding, because there wasn't any women riders in my area, or I didn't know who they were. I'm sure they were there. And I've always taken photos, and as I was slowly meeting women in my community who were riding motorcycles, their stories were very fascinating to me. I've always been into kind of like vintage motorcycle kind of culture, so they would show up on these gorgeous motorcycles, and I would just start taking their photo. And that's kind of when Instagram just started. So I just started throwing my images up on Instagram and on Facebook, and people started to like it, and I was having a really good time taking photos. So it just kind of snowballed. And yeah, I'm still doing it today.
You're still doing it today. And have you sold any of these photographs that you have clicked?
Mm-hmm.
Or have you exhibited? Okay.
Yeah, not a lot, but some. Most of the ones I sell are pretty large. They're like 2.5 feet by 2.5 feet. You can buy smaller ones too, but I mean, my like end game isn't really like making money. Like that's not why I'm doing it. Like I'm doing it because I think it's important to like document this moment in history of like women motorcyclists, and I don't think there's a ton of history. There's more history on men. And kind of
Correct.
just pioneering this new image and yeah, this new kind of journey for women in motorsports.
That's nice. Yeah. And like, I can you vividly remember how many women have you photographed till now?
Oh God. Definitely over 1,000. Yeah, I don't know, like I don't really
So,
count.
what year did you start this? What year did you start this?
I think that it started in 2013.
Okay, that's like a long time ago.
Yeah. Um, and it's been really exciting because I've just been on a lot of different motorcycle journeys, and I love riding motorcycles in different countries and
Hmm.
meeting women along the way. And those are some of the most kind of fulfilling experiences I've had, is just being in a foreign country and meeting up at like a random gas station with like women that I've never met before. And we immediately connect because we love motorcycles and we love adventure. And yeah, I mean, I've gone on some of my most amazing trips with complete strangers just with the shared love of motorcycles.
So, and like any memorable situation that you still remember while you were like riding, not in America, but some other place?
Yeah, I did a really fun trip through a few countries in Europe. I think 3 or 4 years ago. I think it was 4 years ago.
Okay.
And it was three of my friends from America, and then we picked up Husqvarna motorcycles in Austria, and then
Oh, nice.
we did a 3 week tour through the Alps in several different countries, and I remember
So,
meeting up with.
so were those all dirt bikes?
They were supermoto.
Okay.
Yeah, and we met up with a bunch of German women. They rode down from Germany. I think we met in Austria, and
Okay.
it was wild. And we hung out with them for like 5 days, and we'd never met any of them. And we just like I remember getting caught in like a torrential downpour storm in Italy, and
Oh,
like we were riding through these like vineyards, and there was like castles and like lightning, and people were breaking down on the side of the road, and we didn't know where we were, but it was like the best time ever. We were freezing, and like it was kind of like terrible, but it was also like so epic at the same time. And it was kind of just like, wow, I'm like really where I'm supposed to be, even though it's kind of like a gnarly situation. Like it's amazing, it's like that's like I'm living, so.
correct. Nice, nice. And when it comes to taking photographs and also, what kind of you know what do you like to do the most, and what are some memorable situations when you have been shooting and some fuck up has happened or something like that? Because it always something has always some happens.
Oh yeah, oh my gosh. I mean, luckily to this day no one's gotten seriously injured on any of the shoots, because
Hmm.
all of my shoots are like guerrilla, like you show up, there's no permits, there's nothing. I'm in the
Right.
back of a car, I'm on someone's motorcycle, like it's very run and gun, and I try to do my best. I always love to shoot film, and I think that's like what people emotionally connect to is like the film photos that I take. I
Correct.
do shoot more digital now, just because I want to make sure that if anybody's taking time out of their day to come to one of the shoots, that they like get photos. And film is really unpredictable. Sometimes it just, one of my cameras is broken right now, and all the,
Oh.
I shot 5 rolls and they all don't, none of them were exposed correctly. And
Oh.
um, yeah, like, I mean, last week I was in Los Angeles, and I was trying to meet this woman, Sugar, at Elysian Park in Los Angeles. It's like beautiful park that looks over the whole city. And
Okay.
she got lost, so I was in my Sprinter van, and I was trying to find her, and like in trying to find her I went like the opposite direction on a one way, like going
Oh.
opposite direction in my huge blue van, and like, you know, she was laughing on the phone, you know, being like, "I see you. That's hilarious. You're going on the wrong side of the road." And you know, just a couple days later, we met at this really cool kind of industrial train station location in Los
Yeah,
Angeles.
I saw
And
the photographs.
yeah, so that's like one of my favorite places to shoot. Yeah, we showed up to this shoot, and there was a rave happening. Like there's like a DJ and like
Oh,
huge speakers, and there's, you know, people racing their cars, and it's always a good time usually on a shoot, you know.
that's nice. That's absolutely amazing. And when you came to India like last year, so was that the first time that you ever came to India?
Yeah, it was.
So what was your first expression or first experience of being in India?
Oh my gosh. Well, I flew into Delhi, just full of life and energetic, and you know, people have a lot of passion there, and it's a very diverse country, you know. Lots of different types of people from different areas, and thank you so much for connecting me with those women in Delhi. And it was really cool to hear with where they're from and their backgrounds. And yeah, I mean, my first impression was like just an overwhelming sense of energy, I guess.
Yeah, and like when you met all those ladies, so what was like? How did you feel like that? What was the riding situation here in India, especially when it comes to women? Is it very different from what it is back in the States?
Well, it was. I mean, from what they told me, you know, I
Mhm.
don't, I think, I mean, in the States, there's definitely like lots of women that ride, but it's still not that many, like compared to how many men that ride. And
Mhm.
I think there's more and more women every year getting into motorcycling, which is really cool. And then in India, it seems similar, maybe less. I was there for such a short amount of time, and I only spoke with maybe 10 or 15 women, but um, you know, the traffic and everything seemed. I've driven in a lot of really busy foreign countries
Mhm.
with crazy driving patterns, so it wasn't anything new to me.
Because like most of the people who come to India and they are on a motorcycle, they say like, how do people drive and
Yeah,
ride in this kind of traffic?
yeah. I mean, just hope for the best. Like, I mean, because after Delhi, I was riding in the Himalayas
Exactly.
for 12 days, and that was pretty crazy too. I mean, that's traffic on top of, you know, roads and altitude and really crazy weather conditions. Um, but I like it. I like when it's. I like to say it's like athletic riding, you know, where it's really you have to be so on it, you know, and so present. And I like that because that means I'm like really focused on where I am in that moment and just scanning and being aware of everything. And yeah, you know,
I can
motorcycles are
understand that.
dangerous. Yeah.
Exactly. And so like, how was your riding experience in the Himalayas? And because I think that was the first time that you ever came to India and you straight away went to ride in the Himalayas in the worst possible weather.
It was really bad weather. But it was the most amazing trip ever. And I'm like a notoriously terrible packer. Like I just packed the worst clothes for the trip, and everybody else had like waterproof socks and like
Mhm.
just really like spent a lot of time thinking about what they were going to bring, and I just kind of like brought my Red Wings and some socks and like called it good, and a helmet. And yeah, I mean, like the last day was a blizzard, so we rode like I don't know, probably like 200 miles in snow. And like
Oh,
when I woke up, it was like 2 degrees in our campsite, and
okay.
my feet within the first 30 minutes were completely frozen.
Oh,
And then there's a bunch of army trucks. So I probably passed 200 massive army trucks on like a cliffside with snow.
Oh shit!
It was crazy. It was crazy, but it was like, it's something I'll remember for the rest of my life. And yeah, I mean, I love that kind of riding. Like my favorite kind of riding is riding single track dirt, So this is like more dual sport, but it was awesome. Yeah, it's totally incredible.
Would you like to come back to India and ride again? Because I think
Oh
you
my God.
didn't.
Yeah, I would
Would-
love to. I would never say no. And I want to ride everywhere I can, like life's short.
Exactly, because like last time you just came and you just went to the Himalayas and ridden there. But there are much more beautiful places that you can go to.
I know, that's what I heard. I'd like to go somewhere a little warmer.
Hmm.
The last few tours I've done, it's been cold. But yeah, I mean, I'm somebody who will drop anything, and go ride if an opportunity presents itself. So yeah.
Absolutely. And so and now you have also started skating, isn't it? So how did that thing
Yeah.
came up?
Oh, skateboarding. Yeah. Well, I've always wanted to skateboard. I just kind of was intimidated by it, kind of like motorcycling. It's like mostly guys do it. And then I started dating my boyfriend, Shane Flood. He's a pro snowboarder, and then he has been skating since like he could walk. And so
Oh,
it's something that he's really passionate about and he wants to do a lot. So I want to like spend time with him. And so he taught me how to skateboard, and I just love it. I've had friends tell me like, "Oh, you're 30, you're too old. You shouldn't be skateboarding and learning how to skateboard." And I'm just like, that's ridiculous. Like, I'm like, as far as I'm concerned, 30 is young, and
exactly.
it's never too late to like learn something new. And it's kind of a nice
And if,
break from motorcycling too. It's like another thing we can do.
exactly. So does your boyfriend also ride?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
he has Harleys, and then I got him into dirt biking in October.
Okay.
So we love dirt biking. So we both have a CRF 250 Honda. We have like the same bike. His is just like a little bit newer than mine.
Mm.
But yeah, I got my motorcycle boyfriend.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, so you guys have been to some exotic places to ride on?
We have not together. We're doing a trip when we move to Boise. We're gonna do Boise to Yellowstone to Glacier, probably back to Boise. So Idaho, Wyoming, and Montana, which is like some of the most beautiful riding in the US. So that'll be our first kind of big trip together.
Cool,
Like,
man.
we'll bring my dog
That's
too.
nice. Oh yeah, I've seen him. What's his name?
His name's Gus.
Gus. Right, nice. And so during this pandemic, did you did you had any lockdown or something like that, or was it like soft lockdown?
It was a lockdown. Yeah. I mean, it was weird. I mean, the US is, I'm in Portland, which is like a really political state. It's very like liberal, and the feds came in, shut everyone down. It was like a big uproar.
Oh,
And I guess that was more with BLM, but it's just like it's like all mixing together. But we were not allowed to leave really for the most part, and you have to have masks on in all the stores that you go to. And
did you pick up any new skills while sitting at home during the lockdown?
Yeah. I randomly I am getting my home inspection certification, so I'm going to be a home inspector.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So that took about like a month and a half to get certified. I'm still in the midst of it, but I'm going to open up a new business when I move to Boise.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as any other skills, like I'm learning how to heat press my own merchandise, and yeah, I mean,
That's interesting, man. That's interesting. So, like, I hope you come back to India pretty soon, and you get to ride in India, and hopefully, I might be able to join you.
yeah, let me know if there's like anything that pops up, maybe like next summer or something.
Absolutely.
I would love that.
Sure, sure. On that note, thank you very much, Lana, for coming on the Unnamed Podcast and talking to me and sharing all your experiences with us.
Thank you for the opportunity and for hearing my story. I appreciate it.
Anytime. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
होप कि आपको ये पॉडकास्ट विद लाना पसंद आया हो एंड इन केस यू आर लाइकिंग दिस पॉडकास्ट डोंट फॉरगेट टू फॉलो दिस वेयर एवर यू आर गेटिंग योर पॉडकास्ट एंड इन केस यू वांट टू बी फीचर्ड ऑन दिस पॉडकास्ट वेल फील फ्री टू ड्रॉप मी अ मैसेज ऑन evilmonkeyden@gmail.com या फिर आप फेसबुक पेज द अननेम्ड पॉडकास्ट बाय इविल मंकी पर जाकर पेज को लाइक कर सकते हैं और वहां पर भी मुझे मैसेज ड्रॉप कर सकते हैं एंड ऑफ कोर्स मैं आपसे मिलूंगा अगले हफ्ते विद अ ब्रांड न्यू एपिसोड टिल then you guys stay cool, stay tight and live life human size.